Hello and welcome to Broken Entertainment. So, I was planning to ignore the High Republic comic, but I thought, what the heck, I'll take a look at it. It's it's not bad in the sense of just like, oh God, please help me, this is so bad. It's not the kind of bad that makes you angry. It's just really boring. Kind of like a lot of the Future State comics. It's just, we've gotten past the part where these comics that are coming out that aren't very good are like so bad it makes you want to strangle someone. but now they're just boring. And I wanted to at least get mad about it, but it's just so bad. It's just... well, we'll get into it. A big part of the problem here is that the main character is never really in any danger. They're in situations where you should feel like they're in danger, but because of the writing, you know they're not. You know, they're the best at what they do. They're easily the best person on the page at all times, and not in the sense of like Batman is the best vigilante, but like they're just default so good that they can't be stopped ever. And they never struggle. There's never any sense that they're going to fail or that they're going to have a really hard time. The comic doesn't even leave you with any kind of cliffhanger at all. It ends with them getting promoted. It's like, this is issue number 1. Get me interested in something. Jesus. But it doesn't. It just ends and you're like, okay. Is there a reason I read this? So, starts out and the main character is on this planet. You have no idea where it is. You have no idea why they're on it. Oh, sorry, you do know where it is. It's the Republic frontier, wherever that is. You know, considering it's a galaxy and all, might want to be a little more specific. And she's being followed around by this little annoying sentient being. And this is the one thing in the comic that drove me absolutely up the wall, because it talks like the weirdos that have taken over Star Wars. It has no idea what setting it's in. It has no idea how anything works. And it's like, how does this thing live in a setting and understand nothing about it? You know, it knows enough about Jedi to know they exist and to recognize one, but says stupid crap like, you have the shiny sword thing. It talks like an SJW. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. It talks like an SJW. It talks in goofiness and LOL so random crap lines. And it's supposed to kind of give you this, you're supposed to be annoyed with it because it's supposed to be annoying, but it annoys me for all the wrong reasons. It doesn't annoy me because I think it's an annoying creature. It annoys me because it sounds like all the people that write this. And it sounds like it has the level of depth of knowledge of its own freaking setting that these people writing the High Republic do. I can't imagine anything in Star Wars talking like this because the setting is very large and very deep, but it's full of planets that know all about things, even when you go out to Tatooine and A New Hope. Okay? Luke knows of the Jedi. He doesn't know about them because they've been reduced to myth, but here they're living, breathing things. He would know what a lightsaber is. He would call it a lightsaber, not a shiny sword thing. And he's speaking in galactic common, so he knows this world isn't so far out in the middle of nowhere that it doesn't understand anything around it. But he acts like he has no idea. He would ask if they're in the Republic. I mean, what? So anyway, she's walking around acting like she's in danger. And you're like, oh no, what's the tension? Well, she gets ambushed by her master as part of her training. And she beats him in 2 pages. And she doesn't just beat him, she kicks his ass. It's like, you're a Padawan. You mean, yes, you're a Padawan who's about to take her trials, but it's still a Jedi Master you're fighting. It's not someone that just goes, oh yeah, well, okay, I'll get my ass kicked by a Padawan. I mean, come on. This guy is experienced. This guy is training like she does, except he's been training for a lot longer because they don't stop training. He would be a master at what he does. But she just, well, I'll just kick his ass. That's fine. With a force push of all things. Like he has no force defense whatsoever. So then he tells her he's put this amulet up on these peaks and she has to climb them. And if she gets the amulet down, she'll become a Jedi. That's not how the trials work. Okay, the trials are about mastering your knowledge that you have gained during training. And this is just being able to climb something tall and difficult and get an object. That's more like just a test to have a Padawan develop their skills better. And the other thing that drives me crazy, not in the sense of like, oh my god, I hate this, but just eye roll crazy. Her hair. This is in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago. And she has 21st century crazy hair. You don't actually see this haircut a lot, except in media where they're like trying to push this haircut for some reason. Like I've never actually seen it. I've seen it a couple times out and about, but generally I've only seen it on social media or in entertainment where they're for some reason trying to push it. And it's always the haircut of somebody who's super amazing and somebody who is young and woke. Or worse, somebody who's young and a minority. Like it's supposed to be some kind of status symbol of their minorityness, which I think is kind of gross. So then she climbs it, and we have the, by now, somewhat infamous author has no freaking clue how a lightsaber works. Not only, so, this gets past the author, right? And he commented on Twitter, he said, yeah, I should have caught that. Well, you know who else should have caught that? The artist and the editor. And they didn't. The editor should have been like, hey, now wait a minute, that's not how this works. But he or she did not, because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know Star Wars, they don't understand Star Wars, and they don't care about Star Wars. And you can tell by reading this. They just don't care. So, she falls, and she uses the lightsaber like it's a physical weapon, and catches herself on the side of this mountain. And there's a lot going wrong there. There's the fact that it would just cut all the way down to the ground. And there's the fact that handle, those handles they're big, but they're not robust in the sense of holding a lot of weight. That handle would come apart trying to hold her entire body weight like that. And then they get attacked by this big random swarm of things. And again, she's supposed to be in danger, but she's really not because nothing actually threatens her. She just easily jumps off and out of their way. I don't have every page here. But she jumps easily out of their way. No big deal. And doesn't even get close to being hit by one of these. And the design of these is ridiculous. And we'll get into why in a minute. And then it goes to the Starlight Beacon, and you get to see Master Yoda. Sorry, Grandmaster Yoda. Apparently there's 2 Grandmasters at this time. And Avar Kriss, who is, the best Jedi in the history of Jedi, who ever Jedi'd. And you get the first look at this face, where she gets promoted, and she's got these wide eyes of like, oh my god, I got promoted. And it's not the only time we're going to see that. It's kind of an annoying expression. So, yeah, you see that she's easily jumped down. This guy's friend has been eaten, and she's just like, she's not even like slightly helpful. She's just like, oh yeah, he's dead, don't worry about it. And she lands on this rock, just fine. And then she's like, oh no, the city's in trouble. So she's already been in trouble twice. One time was fake, and this time nothing happens to her. She doesn't get clipped. She doesn't get even really attacked, because they're not actually attacking, they're just passing through. But there's no tension here. I'm not worried about the character. I know she's going to be fine. She's already kicked her master's ass. It was a couple of bugs. And she had no problem climbing. She was almost to the top and fell and caught herself magically with a sword, and was able to jump from that off of the rock and completely avoid these bugs without any problem. It's just not, there's no tension. And tension is so important in storytelling. Without tension, what do you have? Nothing. So she summons her ship, ignores her master, because why not? Goes to save the city, which she then connects to the bugs, trying to learn why they're doing what they're doing through the Force, and that's fine. That's the Force power, and there's some kind of hive mind thing, and they travel through space with their insect wings. If they showed some other form of locomotion for them, that would be fine, but they don't. And the way this is drawn, I saw somebody say, oh, this is the first time we've ever seen what the Force looks like. I don't think that's really what we're getting, as much as just images of what's in these bugs' heads. It's a visual medium. It's fine. And they're going towards the Starlight Beacon because this giant super beacon in space is causing problems for them. Attracting them like locusts, because that's what they are. And she magically converts. She contacts this Jedi Master. Sorry, I almost said this other Jedi Master. And he is able to hack into her fighter somehow. And no, I'm sorry, he doesn't hack into her fighter. No, she does all that. She uses her fighter to magically turn it into the same beacon the Starlight Beacon creates. And the Starlight Beacon is huge and creates a beacon that reaches all the way through space. And she does it with a fighter that has a much weaker communication system. But that aside, we immediately get more people telling her how awesome she is, because he's like, wow, what a great idea. So they were a threat to her, but she jumped away. Then they were a threat to the city, but that's okay. In like 2 panels, she's able to change the beacon on her ship to the beacon they've been following, and she sets it for autopilot and jumps out, and she's fine. And that's the end of the story. She's never in any danger. There's never anything that convinces you she might fail. And she's constantly told how great she is. Then, at the end... Oh, one thing that was frustrating is she constantly says these random words that were supposed to be curse words. And that I've seen done in plenty of other media. Battlestar Galactica used frack, for example. The difference is that they use the same word over and over again. She uses a different word every time, and they're just random made-up words. So it's like, okay, I have no idea what you're supposed to be saying. And, if you just use the one word, and then maybe introduce another word later on, but they don't. It's just a different word every time. And I'm like, I don't even know what this is supposed to stand in for. Frack was pretty obvious. Battletech had a few, but again, they would repeat them. And then she gets promoted to Padawan because her saving the city and being the bestest ever was worthy of her being promoted and counting as her trial. And it's like, as a Padawan, she's probably saved cities and people countless times with her master. I think the big idea here was that she did it without her master and without going to him for advice first. So it's not a huge problem that she gets promoted. It's just to me, her promotion should have been a multi-issue thing. Like, this should have been drawn out over multiple issues. This issue should have ended on a cliffhanger with her in a lot of trouble and potentially hurt, in a position where it looks like she might fail. She maybe should have failed at a couple of things before she was able to succeed, but we wouldn't want that. That would be interesting and not boring. So, generally, incredibly boring comic. Nothing of note happens. The character is never in danger of either being hurt or failing, and everybody thinks she's great. Standard issue stuff anymore. Yeah, so if this is what we can expect with the High Republic comics, I doubt it gets better from here. Just saying. Hopefully I'm wrong. I'll take a look at the next issue when it comes out and see what it looks like. But this is pretty boring. So, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you next time.